You've heard of billionaires, but the real owners never appear on Forbes. They don't stand on stages. They don't chase attention. Their silence is their armor, and their power comes from one thing: time. For generations, people believed the richest individuals were the ones we see online: the tech giants, the real estate kings, the celebrity CEOs. But the world doesn't move because of one person's money. It moves because of networks built by families whose wealth stretches across centuries. Families who learned that true power doesn't need the spotlight. It only needs control over the things everybody else depends on. The story of global wealth isn't about sudden success, it's about long-term strategy. Imagine 7 powerful family networks, each one controlling a different pillar of the modern world: finance, energy, shipping, tech, retail, real estate, and global investment. They didn't rise through luck, they rose through structure. While people chased trends, these families built foundations so strong that even wars, crashes, and revolutions couldn't shake them. Some of these families created banking empires in the early days of international trade. Their institutions grew into giants that today hold the lifeblood of the global economy: transactions, reserves, credit, and trust. Their names may sit on giant buildings, but the real ownership lies in quiet trusts and private foundations that operate behind layers of legal walls. Others built their fortunes on energy: oil fields, pipelines, gas networks, and now the new green economy. When the world moves, it uses energy. And when a family controls energy, they indirectly touch every industry on Earth: transport, factories, medicine, technology, food, everything. Some families mastered global trade. They own shipping fleets that cross oceans, ports that unload millions of containers, logistics companies that connect continents. When you see a product on a shelf in New York, London, or Dubai, there's a good chance it passed through systems built by these long-standing dynasties. Then there are the families that shape technology. Not the modern celebrity billionaires, but the quiet investors who funded early computing, telecommunications, satellites, early silicon, and today's AI infrastructure. Their influence isn't visible in one device. It's behind the networks that make the device possible. Real estate dynasties built skyscrapers, shopping centers, highways, resorts, and entire districts in major cities. When you control land, you control growth. Cities rise and fall, but land remains. And for these families, land was not just property, it was a legacy. Retail empires created supply chains that stretch across the world. They built systems that shape what people buy, how they buy it, and who gets to sell. Millions walk through stores, click on websites, or use services created by these family-led giants without ever knowing the history behind them. And finally, the families that mastered investments. They don't run factories or stores. They own pieces of everything: banks, airlines, hotels, tech companies, pharmaceutical firms, film studios, and real estate trusts. Their power isn't in running one industry. It's in holding shares of all of them. These 7 family networks don't rule the world. They influence it through structures that have been growing for decades, even centuries. Their strength comes from a simple truth: wealth that survives long enough becomes something more than money. It becomes a system. They don't need fame. Fame is loud. Fame is fragile. Fame is temporary. But systems, those last forever. Think about it. A billionaire today can lose everything with one bad decision. But a family that has passed down wealth, knowledge, connections, and strategy for generations is almost impossible to erase. They don't think in days or months. They think in decades. They build for their grandchildren, not their social media followers. And this is why the richest families rarely appear on lists. Forbes counts personal wealth, but generational empires don't keep their wealth in one name. They spread it across corporations, holding companies, private banks, trusts, and silent partnerships. The world sees the brand, not the people behind it. The world sees the CEO, not the owners who hired them. The world sees the product, not the dynasty funding it. This silence creates a kind of myth. People imagine these families as hidden rulers or secret powers, when in reality, their influence comes not from secrecy, but from systems they built patiently over time. Their companies employ millions. Their networks shape industries. Their decisions guide markets. And yet, their faces remain unknown. And maybe that's the real secret. If you want power that lasts, stay quiet. If you want wealth that survives generations, avoid the spotlight. If you want influence that stretches across the world, build systems, not fame. The world constantly changes, technology shifts, politics rise and fall, economies crash and rebuild. But the families who think long term survive every storm. They adapt, expand, diversify, and protect what they built. They don't chase the world, they shape it from behind the curtain. So the next time you see a billionaire trending online, remember this: the real owners aren't on stage, they aren't giving interviews, they aren't fighting for attention. They are the ones who built the foundations everyone else stands on, and their influence is not measured in money, but in time.